And I read that in your early musical career that you started off singing jazz.
Yes.
So,
Yes, I think primarily um, that's what I was doing. I was singing jazz, of course, and then I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but I used to go to the theater a lot. I loved the theater, and that was, so musical theater songs and um, listening to Sinatra and Ella and Sarah Vaughan. Those are the people that I felt were the best. So I would very often sing their songs, and which tended to be more of a jazz feel than anything else.
and what do you...
And I worked nightclubs for years doing that.
And what was it like in those nightclubs performing the jazz songs before you became, the success that you would become?
Well, at some point, we would do those jazz tunes or for like a cocktail hour or that kind of thing when things were really more quiet and subdued. And then eventually, people would start asking for songs by Gladys Knight or Sly and the Family Stone. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to learn this other stuff. And so I did. I started learning how to perform and sing these other tunes, and then it grew from there. So, the jazz stuff is always good because it's a little more quiet and subdued when you're having dinner. History repeating.
Welcome back to History Repeating, and I can't tell you how excited I am to have this episode's guest on our show. In fact, she was the very first person that I thought of when we first started doing interviews, and that is the fantastic and beyond talented Linda Clifford. Linda is best remembered for her massive disco and R&B hits from the 70s and 80s, including If My Friends Could See Me Now, Red Light, Runaway Love, and a cover of Simon & Garfunkel's classic, Bridge Over Troubled Water, which I'm sure doesn't sound like a great song to make a disco cover of, but for those that are familiar with Linda's version, they know that the song is an absolute classic and a perfect example of covering a piece and making it your own. And the music video to go along with it is just as iconic and original. Over Troubled Water, I always got the sense that it's like a very uniting song. It's like when I hear your version of it with the big backing vocalists and all that.
Oh, great. Well, that's good to know that you felt that, I kind of feel, I always loved the song. I loved it as a ballad. And then, when the idea came up to do it this way, a little, up-tempo, I thought, wow, it'd be great. I'd get a chance to record this song, and even though it'll be different than what most people are used to hearing, there might be some people out there who like it. So yeah, it's a great tune. The lyric is so incredible, and I agree, very uniting.
And and what did you think when was it your idea or whose idea was it to take that song and to change it and make it way faster than the original?
I think actually it was someone at the offices of the record company. It wasn't my idea because we had done, If My Friends Could See Me Now, which, is from a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
And, I was very much against that in the beginning. I thought, oh my God, no, that's sacrilege. This is Broadway. You can't take that. And, And so I was against it. And then, the record company felt, no, we got to do it. And they went in and they recorded the track. and they played it to me, and when I heard it, I thought, oh my gosh, that's really good. I like it.
The original Simon and Garfunkel version of the song has a tempo of 82 beats per minute, and most covers of the song stayed around that range, with Aretha Franklin's version being even slower at 76. But Linda's version comes in at 132 beats per minute, completely changing the style and tone of the track. As you heard Linda mention, this wasn't the first case of her having a hit with an up-tempo version of a classic song. If My Friends Could See Me Now, from the musical Sweet Charity, was another instance of this. And despite Linda's concern about recording it, once she saw the reception from the public, she knew she made the right decision.
We were looking for material to record because we had done the very first album was called Linda. And, I guess nobody really expected it to do a whole lot. They thought, sell a few thousand albums and, everybody would be happy. Well, it kind of took off suddenly and became very popular. It was all over the radio. And then, they were thinking, well, oh my God, we have to have a follow-up to this album. We have to do something. So we were looking for, more songs to do, to have something to release right away. And one of the secretaries at the record company said, I have an idea. That show Sweet Charity, in which, by the way, I happen to love that show, again, Broadway. And then it was, they turned it into a movie, which I was part of. I was actually in that movie. And so once she brought it up, I thought, absolutely not. There's no way we're doing this song. And then I heard it, and that was it.
And what was it like, the reception to that song when it came out?
Well, I'll tell you something. The record company kept saying, this song is climbing the charts. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. For some reason, I just didn't believe them. And they would call me and say, your song is number 10. Your song is in the top 5. And then finally they called one day and they said, your song is number 1 in the nation. And I hung up on them.
If My Friends Could See Me Now has become Linda's most iconic song, although she's been happy with the majority of the songs in her catalog because she typically only recorded stuff that she enjoyed, which made singing them a lot more fun.
I will say that I really enjoyed so many of the songs that I recorded. I didn't just go in and sing songs for the sake of it. But seriously, I would say 85% of what I did meant something to me. And so, which always helps in your performance, if the song really does, strike a chord with you, if there's a part of a story that you're trying to tell. So, having something that means a lot to you is just an added bonus. If My Friends was one of those tunes, for sure.
And you're touching on a question that I wanted to ask you, which is, what is your process when you're approaching a song to record it? When you first know you're going into the studio and you got to record it, what is going through your mind?
I am a person who is very stuck on lyrics. Lyrics are important to me. If there is a way to express an emotion or something that I think might touch other people or something that they can relate to, I try to go there first. And then I work on the melody after that. But primarily, it's the lyrics for me. And if it touches me in any way or makes me feel a certain way, then, I'm anxious to get in and do it and see if I can get people to relate the same way I do to the song.
Linda has had such an incredible and long-lasting career. including opening for Joan Rivers, singing on the Fame soundtrack, and being a part of the First Ladies of Disco. So look out for our next episode with Linda, where we'll be discussing how she got signed and working with the legendary Curtis Mayfield. Until next time, this has been History Repeating.